Hi guys, this is Shivayadi. In this session, I'm going to explain how you can implement or how you can handle large volume of records in Angular application development. So, it is essential to optimize the performance to ensure smooth user experience when you are dealing with the large volume of the records. So, there are different techniques which are available to efficiently handle and render a large number of the records in the Angular application. So first one is virtual scrolling. Virtual scrolling implement virtual scrolling to render only the visible items in the viewport and reducing the DOM size and enhancing the performance. So Angular CDK is going to provide the CDK virtual scroll viewport can be used to implement the virtual scrolling. In this particular virtual scrolling technique, you are going to define your item size or the viewport size, and then you will have the scrolling. And at any point of time, user can able to view the fixed set of the records. He can basically go to the previous or the next using that particular scroll bar. So the second one is the pagination. Pagination implement pagination to load and display data in the chunks or pages and limiting the number of records displaying at once. So whenever you are working with the pagination, first you need to define the how many records at a time you want to display on that particular page. Second one is you need to provide the navigation. Either user has to go to the previous page or the next page. That navigation you have to provide. And also at any point of time, you need to understand how many records are available in the system. And then each time you have to specify the limit and offset until you are going to traverse through all the records. You have to keep on moving to the next page till it has reaches the end of the records. So the pagination technique is most frequently used technique in order to display large volume of the records in the any of the UI applications. The next technique is the optimized rendering. Optimize rendering is a process to minimize the impact on the performance. So whenever you are working with the Angular applications, you can use trackby in ng-for to improve the rendering performance by providing the unique identifier for the each item. And also you can use change detection strategy to on push to reduce change detection cycles for the component. By using these two techniques, whenever you are using the ng-for to iterate over the collections, then by using this track by and then change detection strategy on push, it can improve the it will basically improve the rendering logic performance. The next one is the infinite scrolling. Infinite scrolling is used to implement where whenever user is accessing your particular page, as user is scroll down, it automatically go through the set of records. It will fetch dynamically and display. So infinite scrolling is going to implement the infinite scrolling to load more data as user scrolls through the content. Load additional records dynamically as user reaches at the end of the current set of the records. In the case of pagination, what happens is at a time he can see the fixed set of records in that particular page. If you want user want to see the next, he has to go to the next page. But in the case of infinite scrolling, as user reaches the end of the page, then system will identify yes it's already rendered that particular records, then it will make a call to the server and fetch the another set of the record. Like that it has to go in a infinite scrolling until user reach the end of the records. The fifth one is the lazy loading. Lazy loading is one of the important technique in order to improve the performance and also in order to improve the load time of the components as well. Now, whenever you are working with the Angular, it may not require all the component need to be loaded at a go, or that means as part of your server startup itself. Some components can be loaded as and when it is required. So if you have those scenarios, then you can implement this lazy loading technique that will improve the performance, and also it will improve the load time for your Angular applications. So load and rendering components are the sections of the UI dynamically as user navigate or interact with your application. At that time only you can go ahead and load those components. The next technique is data optimization. So when it comes to the data optimization, there are two aspects. One is is there any possibility where you can optimize the data processing on the server side itself, like applying the filter, sorting, and you can have the proper search criteria on what basis data has to be provided when user requested. The second aspect is the client side. So in client side also you can have the optimization techniques like implementing the caching instead of hitting the server too many things. And if the data is going to be constant, which is not going to change that much frequently, then those type of data you can capture as part of the single call and maintain that particular state, and then in the subsequent calls instead of you are hitting to the server, you can use that particular data from the cache you can use. And also, as I said, we can go with the server side optimizations also, where you can apply the filtering, sorting, pagination, which can reduce the volume of the data which is sent to the client side. And another technique is the web workers. Web workers is mainly used to perform the heavy lifting operations or the heavy processing. So you can basically create them as a worker, web workers, and these heavy operations can be performed through the web workers. Those are most of them in a asynchronous manner, and also you can apply the different threads for the different tasks, which are basically non-blocking. Parallelly, those can be executed. Finally, you can use ngIf and ng for wisely, because if you're trying to render everything, then it basically takes a lot of time from the HTML template to render. So that's why try to avoid rendering unnecessary components or the items. Use ngIf conditionally to render the components as and when it is required, instead of them loading as part of every component or rendering as part of every HTML template loading. And also we can use the ng for with a caution, because especially whenever you are working with the large data sets and applying the filter, or you can apply some limit, or as I said earlier, you can use the track by in ngFor, and also we can use the change detection strategy to optimize the rendering part. By using these techniques, you can handle large volume of the records in proper way, and also it will enhance the user experience without impacting much on the performance aspects. So just to go through these concepts with some examples and prepare some real-time use cases, how you are going to implement these techniques in real time, and then you can able to explain better in the interview. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.